overly optimistic and sunshiny. I mean, but I do feel that we can take it upon ourselves to look at things in the most positive light and manifest more optimistic outcomes to what it is that we experience. Like I normally tell people, getting a psychic reading is not a fortune telling. It's a truth unveiling. It gives you guidance on what is forthcoming, but it's up to you to dress accordingly when you find out what the weather forecast is.
Right. Yeah. Oh, that's a beautiful way of saying it. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So
what better way of saying it after this past weekend, hey?
Yeah. That's right. Absolutely. So, and when you collectively, if we do manifest positivity, there's a greater chance that positive things will happen.
Absolutely. I'm a firm believer in that.
How can we work on that? What can we do to get that going?
Well, meditation is a really helpful tool. But I really think most of what plagues people today are certain ideal standards that society imposes upon us. Like probably the number one issue that people come to me with for a reading are relationship issues. And, I don't think that that's coincidence that, generally speaking, 90% or more of my clientele is women.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, women have this Disney princess complex imposed upon them at a very early age, and far too often, will believe that their personal value is based upon whether or not they have a relationship or whether or not the relationship looks functional. And unfortunately, that's something that's imposed upon women. It's very, very unfair. And ultimately, I mean, it's the Disney princess drama is something that doesn't often happen in real life.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, many a times that you see all too often someone, and not just women, it's men that do it too. Subjecting themselves to a very horrific set of conditions just to maintain their status in a relationship.
Mm-hmm. So what would be the answer to that?
Well, I think it's becoming more happy with your own company and putting that more as a priority. Far too often, like when I give a reading, people want some sort of magic answer to their life's problems, and all they have to do is say alakazam at the right time, and then they're going to hit the lottery, and everything's going to fall into place from there on. And that's not the reality of it.
Right.
But I think becoming more happy, with your own circumstances, more content with living in the moment, not clinging to life, so to speak, and constant worry about what's going to happen tomorrow or what's not going to happen tomorrow. And that's the essence of a good, solid meditation program, to be able to ground and center and enable yourself to live in the moment, even just for a short period of time, and find the beauty in that moment.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. I love that. And see the good in people, and especially your partners too. Sometimes they make it very difficult to see the good, but go back to where you met and how you met and why you fell in love to begin with. And
absolutely. Nobody falls in love with the idea that they're going to have to end it at some point in time.
Right.
I mean, look at the roots of what brought you together, and especially when you find those situations. It happens very often when I give readings where two people find each other under very, very unique and very ironic circumstances. And usually that's an even bigger indicator that there's an element of the two being meant to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When the circumstances are so bizarre, and there is no accident, there's no coincidence. It's always meant to be.
Totally. I totally believe in divine order. Everything is working in divine order, even if we can't perceive it as such.
Right.
That kind of goes along with the. Pardon me?
Sometimes when we look back, we can see, but when we're going through it, we don't trust enough that it is.
This is true. Yeah. I mean, and see, I struggle with that myself. I mean, one of the disclaimers that I always try to, give to everybody, and it's something that I did when I was a minister also, is, I tell people, look, the message that I have for you, although it might be delivered rather eloquently, it doesn't mean that I've mastered the concept that I'm conveying to you. I would always have that kind of a disclaimer, because if I was going to stand up there at the podium and I was going to talk about morality or talk about forgiveness, whatever the case might be, I knew that if I stood up there smugly and conveyed this concept as if I had mastered it, that I was going to be slammed with those karmic lessons.
Right. You can't be too self-righteous.
Right.
That's very true. So you see a year of technological advancement, a year of new beginnings and new alliances, and do you think we're going in the right direction? Does it feel like we're going in the right direction?
Well, I guess that's kind of a loaded question when you say, are we going in the right direction? Is mankind going in the right direction? I think ultimately the spirit of mankind is, to find the right direction and go in it, of course. I think that there's a lot that can easily deter us. And, the seduction of, for an example, looking at your life in a different context than what the reality of it is. One thing that we pride ourselves on here at New Beginnings when we give readings to people is that we might not necessarily give them what they want to hear. We might not necessarily give them what they expect to hear, but we're definitely going to give them what they need to hear. and that isn't always pies, rainbows, and butterflies.
Right.
But ultimately, it's geared towards helping someone, and it really it's very unfortunate that there's been people that have come to us for readings that have talked about getting these readings from various places, I don't even know where, but readings that have misguided them. And far too often, like you offer your services to someone and they're like, well, I already got a reading somewhere else before and I'm not really impressed with that. Well, it's like, okay, if you have a mechanic work on your car and he's not real good, does that mean all mechanics are no good?
Right.
So,
well, I always highly recommend you in circles that I hear people talking about psychics. I always talk about you. So the fact that you opened up, no problem, I do it with pleasure. You opened up a second store, and how are you guys balancing that out? Work-wise, manning it.
Right now, the second location is solely on an appointment basis, along with classes. Yeah, so it's solely on an appointment basis as of right now. We just wanted to get people to recognize that we were there and that we had this open and available. And we wanted people to basically know where we were. One thing that we did experience during the time that we've been here for the past 5 years is. Even though we have a big sign out front, people are still not being able to find us. So that's why we held the party that my wife did this past weekend, which was a holiday ladies' night Christmas party. So that way people would know where we were. We had a great time. Everybody had a really, really fun evening.
Great. How far apart are the locations?
I believe it's 14 miles apart.
Oh, pretty close.
Yeah, there's one that's on, like I said, Genesee Court in Burton, and then the other location on the west side of Flint in Flint Township on Dye Road, almost at the corner of Miller Road. It's 3398 South Dye Road. Okay,
very good. So I thank you for taking time out. If we want to reach you for a psychic reading, is there a number that we should call?
Absolutely, yes, 810-744-4077. You can come in on a walk-in basis from Tuesday through Saturday from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m., and the reading's only $20 per 15 minutes on a walk-in basis.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Great. So I'm going to come down soon, and you can show me the new place, and we'll do a Facebook Live video and get it on there. And I look forward to seeing you guys. Tell Cassie hi, great. And thank you for everything you do.
Thank you very much. It's been my pleasure, Dad. We'll look forward to seeing you as well.
Great. Thanks.
Yeah, you have a great night.
You too. Thank you. He's really nice. So that gives me some positiveness for the new year.
Yeah, we need it.
Yeah, we do.
need it.
So it's time to put on your big girl panties and move on. Move ahead and take care of yourself. Focus on making yourself happy. Nobody owes you happiness.
You have to make it.
That's right. So I'm going to tell you some things that are coming up for the devolution. We have a new alliance with a lovely young woman named Mel Morse, and she's going to be teaching some classes, some free classes here. Get Unstuck, Life Reinvention, Setting Goals That Will Stick. That sounds really good, especially this time of year. She has 2 coming up, one on January 7th, one on January 14th. Both are at 1 o'clock down here at the studio, 1017 Washington Avenue. So you might want to mark your calendars for one of those. It's free and very good. She's been going through some extensive training, and she knows her stuff and has quite a few tools for you to get unstuck. We also have an alliance formed with Dr. Kai Sorensen with White Raven Consulting. We are having an event here on Sunday, January 22nd. Again, that's 1017 Washington Avenue. It's from 1 to 4 p.m. It's a 3-hour interactive workshop on the fundamentals of compassionate, nonviolent communication. The principles will be introduced through activities and exercises designed for you to practice using the tools in real life. Bring your partner or friend for maximum benefits. NVC has been proven to be the most effective process for resolving conflict. So if you're in sales, if you own a business, if you go to school, if you have children, if you breathe, you will be able to use this communication. If you look up NVC, Google it, and it tells you a little bit about what it is. I was a little hesitant until I found out really what it is. He teaches it at yoga studios and different non-denominational churches throughout Michigan. He's a really cool guy. Studio space is limited, so please register early. If you're interested in this class, please call the studio at 989-402-4627. Again, that's January 22nd from 1 to 4. Pre-registration is $25. At the door, $35. And we're not going to be able to fit very many people in, so please make those reservations early. We also have met a wonderful woman named Janet who does Botox and fillers and resurfacing. She has some specials going on right now. If you're interested in them, you can look on the website and see what they are. She's really cool woman. She's located in Grand Blanc at 8145 South Saginaw Street. She has some really good diva deals going on. Full set of lash extensions are $149, and I think usually those are about $240. She has a teeth whitening treatment for $79, and I think usually those are about $140. So she has, the lashes are $250. So I think that if you want to call her, please call her and tell her that you heard about her on the Devolution. She has microderm glycolic peels, all kinds of stuff that I can't even say. She has really cool machines that do resurfacing. And I know some people that have been going to her for years, and they do look a lot younger than they truly are. I'm not going to tell you who they are, though. Her number is 810-603-7053. So, Juliana, you had a pretty good day today, didn't you?
I did. I had a wonderful day. Thank you.
You're welcome. We did something a little different. We had a teacher from one of our friends that has been in the studio before, Dr. Charisse Urbana, came in with your Bio 199 class.
We are. I can't tell you what an interesting class this has been. we started off with so many people, and people just kept on dropping off like flies. And we ended up with 5 people out of a class of probably 20. And